distinguished leaders, esteemed elders, courageous brothers and sisters of Africa, and the bright young generation whose footsteps echo with the promise of tomorrow. I stand before you not merely as a speaker, but as a witness to the unfinished struggle of our continent. We are gathered here not for ceremony, not for spectacle, and not for empty declarations. We are gathered here because history is knocking at our door once more. It asks us, as it asked our ancestors, will Africa remain chained, or will Africa rise? Our story is ancient, long before the ships of empire docked at our shores. Long before the maps of Europe drew false borders across our lands, Africa was the cradle of life, of science, of kingdoms whose names still command respect: Mali, Ghana, Songhai, Kush, Axum, Kemet. We traded across deserts, built universities, and discovered stars before others knew how to spell their names. Yet our wealth, of gold, of ivory, of land, of people, became our curse. Others looked upon our abundance and saw not partners but prey. For centuries, we endured the long night of slavery, where the bodies of our ancestors were sold as cargo and their humanity denied. We endured colonialism, where foreign powers divided our people, erased our cultures, and taught us to despise our reflection. And though the flags of empire were lowered, though independence was declared, we soon discovered that freedom was but a word on paper, because the system of plunder did not vanish. Colonialism gave way to neo-colonialism, more silent, more deceptive, yet equally cruel. It came dressed as aid, as development, as investment. But beneath the polite handshake was a contract that robbed us of sovereignty. Beneath the ribbon-cutting ceremonies of foreign-funded projects lay debts that would enslave generations yet unborn. And today, we must ask ourselves, how long shall Africa weep? How long shall Africa's children be orphans of justice, crying for dignity while the world profits from their poverty? Brothers and sisters, let us speak the truth. Neo-colonialism is the most dangerous form of domination because it does not announce itself with gunships or bayonets. It wears the mask of friendship, but it poisons the well from which we drink. It is present in the boardrooms of international financial institutions that lend us billions with one hand and take back trillions with the other through interest and conditions. It is present in the agreements that allow foreign corporations to mine our cobalt, our diamonds, our oil, and our rare earth minerals while leaving behind nothing but poisoned rivers and hollowed lands. It is present in the manipulation of our currencies, where a farmer in Senegal or Mali cannot control the very coin in his pocket because it is tied to decisions made in Paris or Washington. They call it globalization. They call it a partnership, but I call it what it is: economic enslavement. Consider this: Africa is home to nearly 40% of the world's natural resources. Our soil is the womb of cobalt, lithium, gold, oil, and diamonds. Without Africa, there would be no smartphones, no electric cars, no modern technology. Yet, despite this unimaginable wealth, the majority of our people live in poverty, scratching the earth for survival, while others live in luxury from what is stolen beneath our feet. Why? Because the wealth is extracted, exported, and enjoyed elsewhere. Because Africa, in the eyes of the powerful, is not seen as a partner, but as a warehouse, a supermarket where resources are taken and bills are left unpaid. What I say to you today, the age of theft is over, the age of silent submission is over. Africa shall not be the eternal sacrifice on the altar of global greed. Yet let us not be blind, my brothers and sisters. Neo-colonialism thrives not only because of foreign powers, but because of betrayal within our walls. For every hand that robs us from abroad, some hands open the gates from within. Corruption is a second colonizer, where leaders sign contracts that give away our oil for a private mansion in Europe. They betray the blood of our martyrs. When officials accept loans they know will drown our grandchildren in debt, they betray the wombs of our mothers. When African governments silence the voices of their people demanding justice, they become the jailers of their nations. Yes, foreign powers exploit us, but they cannot succeed without allies among us, and it is time to say clearly, we will no longer excuse the corruption of our leaders simply because they share our skin color. A black oppressor is still an oppressor. True freedom requires not only resisting the foreign hand, but also cleansing our own house. But here lies our hope. Across Africa today, a storm is rising. It is the storm of our youth, the restless, determined, brilliant young men and women who refuse to accept that their destiny is permanent poverty. Look around you Africa is the youngest continent in the world. Over 60% of our population is under 25. This is not a curse. This is our greatest weapon. While other nations grow old, Africa is young, energetic, innovative, and ready to lead. But youth without direction becomes despair. Youth without opportunity becomes rebellion. And so the question before us is this: will we harness the power of our youth to build a new Africa? Or will we abandon them to hopelessness, to migration, to drowning in foreign seas while searching for dignity abroad? The world fears a rising Africa, which is why it floods our youth with distractions, with drugs, with false dreams, with imported cultures that make them forget their heritage. But I say, our youth must wake up, our youth must rise. Our youth must take their place as the builders of tomorrow. No more begging for visas. No more dying in deserts or drowning in oceans. The future is here, on this soil, and it is waiting to be claimed. Asterisk brothers and sisters, hear me well. No African nation can stand alone. The hand of neo-colonialism is too strong for one country to resist. But together, united, we are unstoppable. Kwame Nkrumah told us long ago, Africa must unite or perish. Those words are not history, they are prophecy. Look at the world. Europe is united, America is united, Asia is rising, and Africa? Still divided into 50 for fragile pieces, each too weak to resist, each too small to bargain. Our borders were drawn by colonial rulers, lines on paper that divided families, tribes, and nations. Why do we still worship those lines today? Why do we still act as though our destiny ends where colonial ink was spilled? I say to you, the dream of Pan-Africanism is not dead. It is alive, waiting for us to breathe life into it. Imagine an Africa with one voice in the world, one army to defend its people, one currency to protect its wealth, one market to trade with itself before begging from others. This is not fantasy. This is survival. For without unity, Africa shall forever be exploited. But with unity, Africa shall be the superpower of the 21st century. And so, let us declare today, we shall no longer accept loans that chain us in debt. We shall no longer allow foreign corporations to steal our resources while our people starve. We shall no longer tolerate leaders who sell Africa's dignity for personal gain. We shall no longer allow our youth to drown in oceans searching for hope. Instead, we shall rise. We shall take back our minds, our lands, our markets, our future. We shall build industries, not just extract resources. We shall feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, empower ourselves. And if the world calls us rebels, let it be so. If the world threatens us with sanctions, let them try. If the world calls us ungrateful, let them know we are not ungrateful. We are unshackled. My brothers and sisters, the hour is late, but it is not too late. We stand at the edge of history. Behind us lies slavery, colonialism, and betrayal. Before us lies the uncertain road of freedom. The choice is ours. Will we continue to let our destiny be written by others, or will we seize the pen and write it ourselves? I call upon every leader in Africa, be brave. I call upon every mother and father, teach your children the truth of who they are. I call upon every youth, rise, innovate, unite, and never bow. Africa shall not kneel. Africa shall not beg. Africa shall rise. And when history looks back at this moment, let it not say, they talked, but they did nothing. Let us say, this was the day Africa broke its chains. This was the day Africa stood tall. This was the day Africa reclaimed its soul. The time is now. The place is here. The power is ours. Africa shall rise, and no force on earth can stop it.